It's easy for them to do. They're adept at doing a ditty, getting rid of you and not having no handprints on it. Like this is how they traffic. And so you would have to really not be scared, not be acting like you're not scared. You'd have to really be too stupid to be scared.
Pig parties, ever heard of them? In Hollywood lore, they're the whispered about after-hours gatherings that exist way beyond the velvet ropes and the glitz of red carpets. These aren't the events you see splashed across glossy magazines or live-streamed on Instagram. These are the shadowy, invitation-only rooms where power supposedly shifts hands. Careers get minted or crushed, and the rules don't exist. Katt's been saying it for years. The real Hollywood isn't on set, under the lights. It's in those hidden rooms, and now, the story's about to explode. David's name has been dragged into the blogosphere's darkest corners, all because of what happened to Celeste Riva Hernandez. She was only 15, found dead in the back of his Tesla. The coroner still hasn't finalized her cause of death. Friends swore she was David's college-age girlfriend. Sweet, quiet, gentle, but the streets aren't buying it. They're saying David's silence isn't shyness, it's guilt. Katt's theory cuts even deeper. In Hollywood, nothing comes for free. You want the spotlight? The record deal? To be chosen? Allegedly, there's always a price. And the whispers say Celeste wasn't just a tragedy, she was a transaction. A sacrifice linked to one of those infamous pig parties. It sounds outlandish, right? But then you look at the timing. David rockets from TikTok novelty to Interscope-backed artist with millions of streams and a debut album. At the exact moment Celeste's life unravels. She goes missing multiple times, only to be found later in his trunk. And instead of a no-holds-barred investigation, we get half-truths. No full statement from him. No clear answers from the coroner. Just silence. That's why people can't let this story go. Because when Katt Williams talks about Hollywood rituals, people think of the other tragedies. Whitney at a party. Kanye speaking about his mother. Michael gone before his big comeback. The pattern feels too familiar. Rapid rise, sudden death nearby, whispers of sacrifice. Now David's name is in the mix. Allegedly, Celeste wasn't just collateral damage. She was the price of admission to the very rooms Katt's been warning us about.
Now, there are individuals who have looked to clues in his shows or his songs for alleged connections to Celeste, and to be clear, nothing has officially been verified. Here's the thing, even if you look at lyrics from his song Romantic Homicide from back in 2022, this is what seems to be creating the conversation. The lyrics say, I mean, even in the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. But again, nothing remotely to suggest this has anything to do with Celeste.
The term pig party sounds almost cartoonish. Something you'd hear in a college rumor mill, not whispered in Beverly Hills. Yet in Hollywood folklore, it's taken on a life of its own. Depending on who you ask, it's part initiation, part humiliation ritual, and part test of loyalty for those chasing fame. The legend says, if you're invited, you play along, or you never get invited again. And in an industry built on connections, that could mean the end of your career. But these stories aren't about champagne toasts or A-list DJs. They paint a much darker picture, one where boundaries blur, cameras roll, and guests are allegedly pushed past their limits. The story goes that such footage gives the powerful leverage, a way to keep people in check. It's a chilling idea, fame as both a gift and a trap, and these whispers aren't new. Over the decades, pop culture and conspiracy forums have tied everything from old Hollywood mansion parties to Eyes Wide Shut to the same mythos. Secret rooms, masked faces, and moral tests behind closed doors. People like Katt Williams and others have echoed a similar warning, that success in entertainment isn't just about talent, but obedience. It's a provocative thought that maybe the machine rewards not just who shines brightest, but who's willing to play the game no matter the cost. Whether or not pig parties ever truly existed, the legend endures because it reflects something people do believe about Hollywood. That behind every overnight success might be a story of compromise, control, or silence. In the end, the myth of the pig party isn't really about celebrities at all. It's about power, who holds it, who loses it, and what people think they have to give up to get it.
Charles, any idea who is behind this swatting?
No idea. I mean, we've asked police. They want to try and track those things down when it happens, but they don't know on this one. And I think they figured out pretty quickly when David's parents came to the door that that's what was going on here. They didn't see any activity, and the area where their home is in a very rural area. It's not like there's a lot of houses around. So, when police are pulling up, there's no activity. It would have been pretty obvious to them if there was some crisis going on as they pulled up.
Sure, but you can't escape the date, September 18th, and it's a day after the LA house that he was renting was raided. Coincidence or something more?
It does seem strange to say that this is coincidence, and his parents said to the police, somebody is messing with us. And clearly, even if David wasn't at the house, his parents are aware of what's going on back in LA.
David isn't a fading star clawing for headlines. He's the quiet kid who went viral on TikTok, scored a major label deal, and dropped an album before most people could even pronounce his stage name. To fans, it looked like a Cinderella story. To gossip blogs, it looked like something else entirely. A meteoric rise that they say might have come with a price. Enter Celeste Rivas Hernandez. On paper, she was a 15-year-old girl who went missing several times in 2024 and was later found dead in the trunk of David's Tesla. That's where the timeline starts to feel strange to online sleuths. Friends claimed they saw her with him at clubs, at industry events, even at age-restricted parties. Many assumed she was 19, a USC student. She wasn't. According to whispers, she was moving through adult spaces with fake IDs, and wherever she went, David seemed close by. That's why the sacrifice narrative has stuck around. Katt Williams often says Hollywood demands a trade-off, that you don't just get fame without giving something up. In this darker reading, Celeste becomes the alleged price. Her disappearance, the repeated missing person reports, and her tragic end line up eerily with the moment David's career took off. It's the question that keeps resurfacing online. Was she collateral, or was she currency? People even point to symbolism. David's breakout track, Romantic Homicide, includes the line, "In the back of my mind, you." At the time, it read like edgy heartbreak writing. Now some replay it as foreshadowing. His alter ego, Itami, a character steeped in blood imagery, suddenly feels less like art to them and more like a mask. Even an old TikTok clip where he joked about chopping chicken if a girl talked to other guys has been reinterpreted as a red flag. None of this is evidence. There's no proofs, only patterns. And in conspiracy language, patterns are the point. Rising star, sudden tragedy nearby, silence from the team, a career that keeps climbing until the whispers catch up. So when people say Celeste was David's alleged sacrifice, they're not really talking about facts. They're talking about the chilling alignment of fame and death, the idea that one life ended as another soared. And if that happened at one of the pig parties Katt Williams warns about, the story stops being an accident and becomes, in their eyes, an initiation. Allegedly,
new footage has surfaced that potentially shows Celeste Rivas Hernandez's perhaps final movements caught on tape before she vanished and was ultimately found dead in a car registered to singer David. This, along with new details about that car and how long it may have been abandoned, are giving us a better sense of a timeline as everyone's searching.
Hollywood has always been fertile ground for folklore. Every decade births its own myths about fame, fortune, and the invisible price tag that comes with both. The whispers surrounding David and Celeste caught fire because they sound like an echo of stories the public has heard before. Rising stars, sudden tragedy, and a silence that feels too heavy to ignore. To fans, David's success looked like a dream. To gossip blogs, it looked like déjà vu. And that's what keeps people talking. The eerie sense that fame rarely shines without a shadow. When you trace the rumors backward, the pattern repeats. Whitney Houston's final night, Aaliyah's doomed flight, Michael Jackson's last rehearsal. Each tragedy reshaped pop culture and left behind questions that no one could quite answer. In the public imagination, coincidences become clues. People fill the gaps with theories about power, control, and the secret rituals that supposedly keep the machine turning. The facts fade. The stories grow teeth. Hollywood doesn't need to confirm its legends. Its silence does that on its own. Even the party scene carries its own mythology. The so-called pig parties are whispered about as the dark twin of the red carpet, places where glamour melts into something uglier, and ambition gets tested under unspoken rules. Whether they ever existed hardly matters anymore. The legend has already taken root. It feeds the idea that success in the industry isn't won but traded, that every invitation hides a cost. In that light, Celeste's youth and proximity to David became the perfect storm for speculation. Celeste's story is heartbreaking enough without the conspiracy layer. A 15-year-old who went missing more than once, found dead under circumstances that left too many blanks to fill. The timeline overlaps with David's rise, and that alone keeps people connecting dots that might not belong together. The tragedy turned from a case file into a cultural symbol, another young girl lost to the glare of celebrity. In online forums, her name drifts between sympathy and sensationalism, between mourning and myth-making. As for David, the quiet only amplifies the noise. No statements, no interviews, no social media presence, just absence where answers should be. To some, that looks like grief. To others, it looks like guilt. The industry calls it PR strategy, but the streets call it evidence. Each day he stays silent. The narrative writes itself. In the entertainment world, mystery sells faster than music, and once the public senses a secret, they won't stop digging until it feels exposed. Maybe the truth is simpler and sadder. Maybe there's no ritual, no sacrifice, just the same broken system that chews people up and turns their pain into spectacle. Yet the allure of believing otherwise is powerful. It gives shape to chaos, turns tragedy into pattern and fear into story. That's why the legend endures, not because it's proven, but because it feels possible. In a town built on illusion, sometimes the scariest thing isn't that the rumors are true. It's that no one can ever really tell the difference.